Hello, everybody. Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our first ever Real Talk by Shuvo. This is our first initiative from Success Arte, and we are very excited to do this. We will start in a few minutes. People are still logging in. We'll start in another 3 minutes. We'll start. Until then, let's wait. I believe Sayandan is with us.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Great. Great. Okay. Some of our friends have already joined. Ready. Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, great. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Talk by Shuvo. Now, there are a lot of uncertainty out there. But at the moment, how can we give certainty in the time of uncertainty? That's everybody's question. And when it comes to Success Zante, we are a training and development platform. We represent some of the world-class speakers like Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, Robert Kiyosaki. So today we have had a different approach of the whole Facebook Live or this Real Talk. So we were thinking. I was actually thinking that how can we give more value to the friends or the family around us, especially to our audience. Then I realized, okay, there are so many changes that are happening at this point, and with that change in mind, we have to see how we can best adapt to it and how we can learn about it, and so that's why I invited one of my very close friends. I've known him for 10 years, 10, 12 years right now. And this has been one of the initiatives what we are doing. So now when I spoke to him, and we were just having a conversation that how change is gonna happen in the future, already happening. So then I thought this is something valuable. We want to share it with everybody. And you know, all of us, we know that change is the only constant in life. So change is the only constant in life. One's ability to adapt to those changes will determine the success in life. It's said by Benjamin Franklin. So when you look at that, it's really happening at this point, right at this point. So without further ado, I would like to invite my friend, very good friend, Sayandan. Sayandan, if you can unmute yourself, unmute your video, and join us. Great. By the way, I like the look. Very nice. The new look. It's a quarantine look, is it?
It's the change. It's the change that we all.
It is definitely. Yes. So, Sayandan, me and you, we were having a conversation about that. I shared this with everybody around us. So that's why I invited you. Now, a bit about Sayandan. Now, Sayandan has a wealth of experience. He's a CEO of Sunshine Healthcare. He has a wealth of experience of 30 years in healthcare industry, and he's a member of Chartered Institute of Marketing UK and Sri Lanka, and he is a practitioner, marketeer, charter marketeer of CIM UK, and fellow member of the Chartered Institute of Management. But having said that, overall, Sayandan is an amazing, amazing person. Now, they say, surround yourself, your environment is more important than your willpower. And surround yourself with successful people who hold you with your higher standard. And Sayandan was the man, my friend, who has really held me with my higher standard, which has helped me to grow myself, not physically, mentally. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to invite Sayandan. Thank you very much for being a part of this initiative, and this has been an amazing, amazing journey. So we would like to hear from you. At the moment, Sayandan, what are the challenges people are facing?
Shuvo, it's actually a tough time that people are undergoing, not only in Sri Lanka, I think around the world, people are undergoing. And I would have this conversation from a business context point of view, which had been the main aim, I believe. So it's a tough time people are undergoing. And I always tell my friends, tough time never lasts, it's the tough people who do. So if you see some of the business challenges, Shuvo, the key business challenges, people are going to have revenue challenges. For most, the revenues are going to go down. The variable cost may not be there, but the fixed costs are going to remain. When your revenue go down, when your cost remains the same, the costs may go up, the profits are going to go down. And another big challenge is that a lot of people are going to have cash flow issues. I know there are a lot of debts to settle, especially from an SME point of view, corporates point of view, there are a lot of cash flow challenges. So there's a lot of environment change. So at this moment, we can ignore, there are some who will benefit as well. I'm not talking of the guys who sell the sanitizer or the mask or the N95 mask, they are going to all benefit. So environment has positive change as well, sure. But looking at this, there are a lot of challenges. But my point is, it's only an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in a corporate who can change this positive into negatives. So otherwise we'll be all keep on talking about negative, sure. So I would say somebody who comes and say no shopping, come on, entrepreneur will say, let's go online shopping. One who says no banking, online banking. Somebody will say, hey, no documents to print. Hey, come on, use E and go paperless. So these are how you turn around things. So the biggest challenges, I think for the next few months, we're going to have a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of complexity, and a lot of ambiguity. So these challenges are going to remain with us. Okay,
great. Wow. So, but then again, I like the fact that what you said that, okay, if there is you cannot do offline shopping, go online shopping. What are the changes, what's happening? I mean, this is brilliant. Because I believe there is always a way. Now Jim Rohn has a very interesting quotation. He says that there are only 3 colors, 10 digits and 7 notes. It's what we do with them that's important, right? So having this present situation, now being in the corporate sector, what advice you can give to the SMEs and entrepreneurs to scale up their business right at this point?
So sure, in this tough time, people should not lose their mental fitness or their real thinking power. So the thinking means this is a time the SME or the entrepreneur need to think positively, because it's a positive thinking which will give positive attitude. And only a positive attitude is going to motivate an individual. So when you motivate a Shuvo, the individual is going to believe in yourself, and that's the time he is going to change. I mean, this is the time I heard people saying, if you can't change the people, change the people. At this context, I would say, if you can't change the business, change the business. You need to think positively, you need to move on. So this is the time to think positively and change. I think those are the key buzzwords.
You see, you can rightly said, for some of them, some of us, think positive. Okay, you can think positive. But how much it is possible to think positive, right? There are, we get up in the morning, we don't know whether we're going to get the groceries or not. Basic needs are so important, right? So right at this situation, if you can give some practical example, what you have come across in the entrepreneurial realm, that how it is happening. Maybe you can share some one or two examples, simple example, which people can understand that, okay, actually small changes can add up and make a bigger change.
Sure. I don't know whether I sounded too theoretical and too much to the books, but definitely I'll give you not one, a couple of examples, Shuvo. I'll start off with, have you heard this person called Hasini Gunasekara?
Yes, of course. Yeah, definitely. I heard,
she's
heard
in
about
the salon business.
She's
in the salon business.
Right.
Sorry,
I believe she's also watching us. So you better be careful what you're saying, okay?
Okay. So she's business in the salon business and hairdressing. I'm sure this period, no one is going to go to salons or going to go for their makeups. A person can shut down, sit and cry and say nothing is happening. But look at this individual, what the person is doing. She's conducting academic classes and teaching. By this, aren't you developing your network? Aren't you developing your clientele? Are you imparting that knowledge, which will give a greater business for tomorrow? I'll bring another example. I have a person who runs a garment factory, and his main purpose is stitching a lot of t-shirts, and he sells during this New Year festive period. Completely shut down, nothing to do. One can choose to keep silent and cry about it, but this individual saw an opportunity for mask. There's a lot of demand for mask. Yesterday I calculated Shuvo at average of 50 rupees with a 22 million population. There's a 1 billion mask sales per day. So he started manufacturing from the cloth. He didn't even have the 3-ply. So he started stitching the mask. And so that is something get going. I'll share one more example. I know a dental surgeon. And these days, nobody's going to go for dental surgery or for any of your dentures or any of those procedures. Now he says he started growing. He has a massive land. He's converting that land into a vegetable garden. See how? So sure, it's all in your mind. Either you'd say negative, can't do, or out there you think the opportunities are enormous. You can do something. Either it's going to work today or it's going to work out tomorrow. So there are so many options. I can go on and on and on.
So what you're saying is that we just need to keep on going and take positive action, which will help us to get the positive outcome. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
So what are the positive action you're taking at this point at home, Sayandan?
Personally, for me, Shuvo, if you ask for me, I think one of the greatest area for improvement personally for me had been to improve on my emotional quotient. So people say if you're in business or if you're in corporates, more than EQ, the IQ, the EQ matters. So I am slowly and steadily improving that. And personal, one of the factors I'm doing is I started doing yoga every day morning, and I see a big change, especially on the EQ point of view. So this is one thing I'm personally doing, Shuvo, since you asked on that ground.
Right. So you do yoga in the morning or in the evening?
Morning, every day morning, first thing in the morning. Start my day.
So you said you're doing emotional quotient. Okay. How is your wife taking that? How emotionally, how she is taking it?
Yoga is more for self. So it gives the control in my mind. So I know when I'm controlled, it's all positivism for her. So it's going to be positive for her.
Positive for her. Of course, she has no choice, I guess. That's right.
Always the action and the reaction and the reaction into actions. You know the vicious cycle, Shuvo.
Right. Okay, great. So, Sayandan, next question. I know you are a lifelong learner, right? And I have seen you learn and grow as well. And then wherever you go, you bring in that positivity and then that learning ability, and that's very infectious. And that's what I love about you, right? So I wanted to know, what is the biggest learning you have got out of this whole situation?
Sure, in this situation and where learning is concerned, I think every individual, I would say every individual, be it a corporate or entrepreneur or whoever it is, this is the time to increase your level of competency. I think it's the competent people who are going to be surviving in this environment, and it's the competency which is going to allow to survive your business. And when I say competency, sure, I'll take three key factors. This is the time to increase your skills. Ideal time to learn. Keep on learning, increase your skills. You increase your knowledge. There are so many webinars, so many things are going on. High time you upgrade your knowledge. And then I'm sure everybody have their own experience, good and bad. So if you can use your experience, so if your skill, knowledge, experience put together, you're going to be a competent person. And when you're a competent person in the industry that you're in, that's going to differentiate you from others. So I would say learning is something, as everybody, till you die, you keep learning. And these three mixtures of skill, knowledge, and experience put together, it's going to, you are going to be a master. And in my words, it's the core competency.
Okay, I get that. Okay, I understand. Well, what is the skill you're developing? You didn't mention.
Learning skills, sure. So
yes.
Yeah, so skills in the sense, see, these days what we are doing, for example, some of the thing is, these are days that we are attending a lot of webinars, lot of learnings, reading, and I started embarking in my study program, which I couldn't do for last 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And mind you,
okay.
that is e-learning. So, I mean, I'm not waiting for opportunity. Hey, I need to go there. I've embarked on an e-learning. So start learning. So opportunities have knocked at the door. So keep going.
Got it. So, okay, I know you're a very busy person, and you are from this beautiful city. I call it the ACCT, the city of kings, Kandy, right? So I know you travel back and forth, Colombo and Kandy. Your family's in Kandy. So now this current scenario, definitely you have to be at home, right, for last 1.5 months. So working from home, how it has been for you?
To be honest, Shuvo, it's tough. I would say it was very tough. It was challenging. It was frustrating, but it's stressful. Now I need to practice.
Yeah, but Sayandan, you're at home, right?
Yeah, let me go. Okay.
How can that be frustrating? I would love to work from home, right?
Absolutely. I'm enjoying it, Shuvo. But coming to that, everybody is forced to work from home. And see, we have two fronts. See, for example, the home front, I have my daughter, I have my wife, I have my mother. So different expectations come from those three individuals. And from this side, though I'm at home, I'm supposed to keep the wheel rolling where the office is concerned. So I have my boss, I have my team, my peers, and my team who are reporting to me. So there are multiple expectations. And in my case, though it was tough and stressful, and though I use those words, I started converting my room into an office. It so happened temporarily I had to displace my daughter. I had to push her toys out. I have taken her study room as my office. I have converted that. So every day morning, I have my breakfast. I even dress up, go to there. I mean, you won't believe, sure, even in office, I don't have my lunch at 12:30. Last 40 days, my lunch had been between 12:30 to 1. So it was so disciplined. So I have converted that. 5 o'clock, I go out, do various things, evening, some playtime. So you have to create that environment. Some even say, even dress up. You officially dress up where you mentally you are there in office. So it's all adapting to changes. You can't just say I'm at home and keep quiet. So you can work from home. I'm sure I predict this head office concept is going to go off. You wait and see. Once you do this and it can happen, I don't know how many headquarters, how many head offices are going to be existing. I feel this is the era of disruption. This decade, from what we learned from COVID, there are going to be a lot of disruption. Today, I was telling my son, today the online delivery is coming. Wait and see, another 3 months or 6 months, the drones are going to deliver. So it's going to be free from virus. So all these are going to take place and we need to be ready.
Okay, great. So you are continuing your work from home. I know I've been at your 25th anniversary. I know how close you are with your family, how much you love your family. And that's one of the reasons we love you as well, Sayandan. And so moving on to the next question. Now, what are the positive side of this present situation we are in? I know I'm asking this to the audience, but we are having a conversation with one of my very good friends, Sayandan. So we wanted to make it very casual because casual in the sense that we want to make it too serious because I know Sayandan come with a lot of experience, but we are asking this question regarding positivity because when you talk about positivity, what you talk about, that's what you see in life. And that's the whole purpose of this real talk.
Yeah.
That we'll talk about positive things and get a positive outcome. Sayandan, so
Yeah.
what do you see? What do you positive you see in this current scenario?
So sure, to answer your question, there are positivism from the personal point of view, positivism from the business point of view. So I'm going to answer from business point of view because that had been our main theme of conversation. So speaking of positivism coming from the business point of view, especially for an entrepreneur or a SME sector, or even for a big corporate, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time you need to look at, answer your question, who is your customer? What is the segment that you are serving? And who is your target market? Find out who your customer is. Or sometimes we've been very blind. Why that customer? Where is he? Who is he? And buying for? This is the time to define your customer. This is the time to rekindle the customer relationship, Shuvo, because now people will know the value of relationship. Because if you have the relationship, your business is going to drop, not going to drop. So it's time to work on your customer relationship. And if you are in a business where you have intermediaries or channels, it's time to challenge your channel or rethink your channel. Some of these channel partners may go or may disappear, right? As the drone delivery, as I told you, the manufacturer may be reaching the customer direct. So time to rethink your channel. What are your key channels? It's very important to offer value for customers. Don't sell commodities. Don't sell low frill products. Sell differentiated products, offer value to customer for the whatever the value they are paying for your services or product. I suggest you got to offer value. Plan out your activities, find out what are your resources. It could be land, it could be money, it could be machinery, and your key partners. I think this, what is, if you can build this business model right, that's going to be success. So I always say, Shuvo, I'll conclude with that. If you are a person doing service, I think you should be that person out there. Customer wanted you. I wanted this person, or I want this service. If you are selling a product, make that product differentiated or sell in a manner, I need this product. So if you can offer a service or a product, but the customer asking for, I don't think you're going to lose market share. Tough times, you're going to survive. So that would be my comment, Shuvo.
Great. Thank you, Sayandan. Actually, audience was watching, looking at me and saying why I'm looking at left and right. So I have a mobile over here. I'm seeing the conversation. There's a question, I believe. Sayandan, there's a question. Can I ask you from the audience?
Yeah, sure.
So this is Hasini Gudosekara asking. Okay, you asked for trouble, right? Okay. So any advice on managing cost and teams?
Okay, managing cost and what is the second point, Shuvo? I didn't hear.
Managing cost and team. Yes.
The people. Okay. So
yeah, people. Yeah.
People. Okay. So I would suggest every businesses would have their own profit and loss, starting from the revenue up to profit after tax. So it's very crucial for you to identify what your costs are. I see something. These are days some people are going into cost cutting of nitty gritty. I have seen people have taken scissors, people have taken their axes and started cutting people, essential people, in the name of cutting cost. I know you have to trim your cost. This is the time to trim your cost. So first of all, my advice to Hasini would be like, find out what are your costs are. Don't be fussed about this 1%, 2%. See what is the chunk of the cost. And then ask the question, what is essential and what is non-essential? This is the time you cut all your non-essential, day by day, from the least priority to the most priority, cut off all the unwanted. Go with your essential cost. And if you're asking about team, go with your champions, go with your stars. You need to have that champion. You can't let them go. And don't forget the fact the champion and stars are expensive. So don't look at the person who is the high cost. I should chop it. I will earn the biggest chunk should not be the answer. You need champions to win. So In terms of team, look at the most critical success factor, team member. In terms of cost, cut off the unwanted and go with essential. I think that's the only way forward in terms of managing cost and team. I hope I answered that.
Yes, I believe you have, because it was very crystal clear. Okay, one last question from the audience before we finish, wind up.
Yeah.
So Dilo Jones, he is asking, what advice would you give frontline managers of teams and in time like this? So what advice you would give?
Managers?
So
okay,
what advice? So what advice you would give to the frontline managers?
Okay.
Frontline managers of the team.
Okay.
So what advice are you going to give to the frontline managers?
Sure, I don't know what businesses they are in. I would say, assuming in any business, so my answer is going to be generalized because I would not know what the industry or what type of managers he is talking of. So
Sure.
Assuming they are managers and they are managing businesses, again, my last piece of advice, what I mentioned, Shuvo. What are your products? How you are going to differentiate? Is it a service? Are you going to be that person whom the customer wanted? Are you offering that product? Then what are your channels? What are your key products offering? This would be my address. I think that manager, that would be the advice, because he is connecting between the corporate and the field in the forefront. So he need to manage the business or manage the portfolio. So he need to differentiate and he need to operate in a manner that you are wanted or your product is wanted. So that would be my advice. And the key is the customer. That manager need to identify his customer and the target. So if you can take care of this, I don't think anything would go wrong.
Brilliant. Okay, one last question, because people are asking question right now. So that Dilo Jones, he's into devices business. Just now the answer you've given. Okay, so Ajita Gunawardana asking, working from home is going to be the norm in the future. What advice to make it successful?
So as I said, for me, Shuvo, working from home is like a God-given time. I mean, I, as you correctly said, I never get a chance to stay here. So it's a blessing for me to stay here and work, because basically I am at home and I can't ask for a better environment, right? So if you are working from home, I feel this is one of the new norms that people are talking of, people are thinking of. So you need to get and create that work. So obviously have your timetable, and it's very important that you're disciplined. Yesterday, I heard one of the manager was saying, I don't want to mention names, that he been constantly having lunch at 5:45. And I told you, in office, my lunches were getting delayed. At home, it was 12:30. So this is the time you need to be disciplined. You have to, I don't know, some have a habit of going late. Personally, I would say early to rise, early to bed, make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So have your health. Don't lose just because the gyms are closed. For me, all I need is a 6 feet by 1 foot mat to do my exercise. That's good enough. So maintain your health, create that timetable. It may not be written. So create that office environment and have that discipline. I'm sure we can get all adapted. It's all in the mindset, Shu. If you can ready for that, if you adapt it, I mean, I'm sure you are even ready to work in whatever the environment.
Okay, great. Okay, sorry, I gotta ask this. Okay, Upendra is asking, in times like this, being over enthusiastic, will it be positive or a negative thing?
Be enthusiastic, be energetic. I don't think being positive is not going to pay off. So if you are a positive, over enthusiastic person, he's not going to have one idea, he's going to have 4 ideas. Just select the best and start implementing and
yes,
on.
I totally agree with that. Definitely. Okay. Okay. One more. Any advice on managing our mindset about working from home? So she's talking about asking about mindset. How do we take care of the mindset? Keeping the commitment of the team members, whether they're really working at home or not. That's what basically she wants to know. How do we manage that mindset?
Yeah. So 2 sides of the story, Shuvo. So this time, from the person who is managing, you can't be having doubts. He's at home, whether he's working or not. So this is where the empowerment comes. I see a lot of corporates having the doubt, he's sleeping at home, he's not working, let me call and check. I see some people calling at 2:30, the time that you have a nap. I see sometimes some people calling around that time just to check whether you're having a nap. No, forget it. If you are a manager, be that empower manager. have the right manager who can be trusted and empowered. And that person who is at home, as I told, the mindset you have to create is that creating that environment. So once again, don't go for hours. Look at the task to be done. So even at home, Shuvo, there are days I have worked 16 hours. There are days I have worked 6 hours. So it's all about tasks, what I need to do. Don't just sit for 7 hours, okay, 8, 5 o'clock, I'm going out. No, it's not the case. Focus on the task, focus on your priority. Having said that, for me, the work never ends. It's all about what's your key priority. Do that. Even my emails, I get 200 emails, Shuvo. I look at the priority and I settle that first. So prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. Do that. Be task oriented, be empowered, have that trust, work, do it in a manner that others can trust you. Things will be all right and fine.
Brilliant. So be task oriented, and then of course, and assign the work properly. Okay, great. So, okay, one more question from Kanchana. Kanchana is saying that, Kanchana Basinger, how to keep the team members motivated and committed when working remotely? How to keep them motivated?
Fine. Sure, good question. I think these are days I feel some managers are not contacting their teammates. They feel I am locked down, you are at home, I am at home, nothing to do. I think the key message is communicate. You won't believe I speak to my managers daily. Sure, in my timetable, 1 hour is for the team meetings. I say I not only speak to them, I look at them on the screen. Whoever who switch on the camera, put on the voice, I see we have that one-to-one touch. So have that communication. Have that transparency and update what's going on. People have the fear. Will my job be not there? Are they going to take a salary cut? Some are doing, some are not doing. I suggest even if you are doing, communicate that openly, convey that message. Say, hey, your job is there, but this is the cut we are taking. When things go back, we'll come back to normal, or do this. So the communication, transparency, build trust, and that's going to do, and keep them engaged. I don't know. One other thing I'm doing to keep my team engaged is involved in a lot of training. So get various tasks, keep them engaged, keep them communicating. Don't ignore them and put them in silence or in silo. That will be my message.
Okay. Sayandan, so next question I have to ask because otherwise I'll be in trouble. Can I ask?
No problem. Go on. I have all
Okay. So this question is from Thiru Sayandhan, right? Okay. Otherwise you will be in trouble also. Okay. How will this situation impact on brick and mortar, physical stores? What do you recommend?
Okay. So before answering that, Shuvo, my message, when the 2020 came in, forget now, 2020 January 1st, my first day message to my team is, this is the era, this 2020 era of 10 years, you will see a lot of disruption. I told some people will die. Pardon me for saying that. I said some people will retire. I looked at, when I went to the stores, I pointed at the products and told, these products won't be there this year. Certain people I told there'll be robotics. Certain procedures will be done by robotics. So brick and mortar, I see a big change. I feel specifically if I go to the brick and mortar, I would say it's a time where the manufacturer may connect the customer direct and all these things may become disrupted. So we need to be getting, that's why I said earlier in my discussion, Shuvo, look at the channel. So customer want the product from the manufacturer. The shortest possible channel is going to cut down cost, and that's going to be the survival model. So we can't be having intermediate, multiple, I don't know. For me, these buildings, I forget bricks and mortars, even the vehicles. I don't know whether the new generation we are going to, or when we go back, are we going to be owning the vehicles? So all these, a lot of disruptions going to take place, and we need to get ready for it, and we need to change our structure per se. And when we change ourselves, then rest become a new world.
Okay, great. So there we get, actually, that's how close Sayandan is to his family. So I love the last question. Thank you, Sunny, for asking that question. And okay, how this tourism, what will happen to this tourism industry or hotel and restaurant? So where there will be limited access to business due to health factors and travel restriction, asked by Darshan Kure.
Okay. Shuvo, sad to say, tourism industry will have an impact, whether we like it or not, we need to have. So some of the hotels have been even converted as isolation centers. So we will have an immediate impact, but that's not going to be forever. On long term, I foresee people who travel for business are going to stop. I personally, I feel all this time for a 1 hour meeting, 2 hour meeting, I have traveled to countries with all these Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Hangout. I feel, why should I go all the way? I'm going to cut it off. I'm sure others may be thinking the business travel may cut down. But sure, if you are a person who are coming on leisure, if you want the beach, I don't think I am going to get that beach experience on a Zoom. I need to be practically there. I am going to go to feel the water, feel the sand. I need that. So those experiences are going to be there. So wherever there is human value addition, two people talking to hearts, those businesses are not going to die. It's a matter of time, it's going to boom again. And Sri Lanka being a beautiful destination with a lot of beaches across the country with a lot of cultural values, it's a matter of time. When this tough time goes, definitely those industries are going to boom, and we'll be one of the first countries to take the early advantages of that. Mark my word.
So I have a question. I was just thinking of it. You see, now the present situation, COVID-19, right? The actual situation might, okay, they will control the quarantine or control the virus, and they will do some sort of isolation, right? That will be taken care of. But how do you take care of the mindset of the people after that? How would you, that when we walk into, let's say we're in a learning organization, so when we go for a training, so we will be wondering like, hey, how do I conduct this training, or something which should be very which is not promoting social distancing, right? What we are talking about. So how do you take care of that mindset that we are not sure that whether the COVID is the psychological part of it I'm talking about?
Okay.
How do you take care of that?
I'll answer. I'll put a slight tweak to answering your question. For me, COVID is two types, and for me, COVID victims are two types. Practically, the guy who had got the real virus had to come out of it. He need to be fit, and you will go into the ICU. You will go through the ventilator, and you need to survive. To survive, you got to have a strong immune system, and the support system has to be good. That is COVID practical patient out there who is suffering there, who should not face the consequences of death. That is A. I also find, see, Shuvo, you and I are victim of this virus. We are working from home. We don't know what to do. We are also victim. Like that same COVID patient who is there on a ventilator, on an ICU bed, you and I also need to know what is our ventilator, what is our ICU bed, what is our immune system, how am I going to cope this, how am I going to come out of it. Like that patient in the ICU, if you don't have a mechanism, we will also perish without the virus, Shuvo. So COVID has hit the entire 6 billion or 7 billion population, be it the hospital or be outside. So if you don't know the art of your ICU, if you don't know your ventilators, what I'm talking, the metaphors of life, of coming out formula, the mindset. So this is where we need to be strong. If you don't know, then you're going to fall victim. Without the virus, still you're falling prey to that COVID virus. So we need to find our mechanisms to come out of it. I hope I answered your question, Shuvo.
Sure. So yeah, definitely, it's about it's about what you're thinking. So thought creates emotion, and emotion creates conversation, and conversation creates action, and action creates outcome. And it's up to us. And last 1.5 months for me, that's the way I have lived my life in and out. My wife didn't support sometimes, but still, that's how I did it. And then that really worked so far. So yeah, so we actually have some audiences from Bangladesh as well joining. I can see Habib and then my friend Johnny. So a few of them have joined for the welcome, Habib and Johnny. So yeah, so we were supposed to initially have it for half an hour, but thank you very much to the audience for asking all this question. And I really enjoyed and Sayandan. There is a quotation, right, of Jim Rohn, right? It says, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. That's what Jim Rohn says. And I love that quotation. So with that, now, if I ask you the last question, if I ask you to describe in one word, right, in one word or one line, what you would need to do now to take action, what we need to do now for action, if I want to ask you.
Okay. Okay. So first I will give the one-line answer, Shuvo. My one-line answer is, it's time to change. And my one-word answer is change.
It's time to change. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
It's time to change. And one word answer is change. And the change is inevitable, whether we like it or not. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being a part of our first Real Talk by Shuvo. And we are very excited that we're able to do this and give this value to you. And before I finish, I would like to thank Sayandan. Sayandan, you deserve a round of applause. Or in a virtually, we do the applause like this with a wave.
Yeah. So the way of shaking hands is worship.
Yes.
Thank you.
So and in virtual meeting nowadays, I was at a Toastmasters meeting, so they were doing like this. So that's the way. That's how they greet. But anyhow, what you have shared here, Sayandan, it has definitely made a positive impact, and we are all about positive impact. And I am so glad. I'm so glad that I'm grateful to the God, to my God, right? That you are in my life, right? And that has made so much a positive impact. And I just wanted to share that with everybody, because people out there should know that who you are and how you are, because you made a lot of difference in my life. Thank you so much. And today, with your sharing, I'm sure the audience who had listened, I'm sure they had some positive impact in their life. All they have to do is we need to build their momentum. They need to build their thoughts, which will create a momentum, and with the conversation, take positive action and then have a positive outcome. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And you have been a wonderful, wonderful, awesome, amazing, resilient audience for us. And please like us on our Facebook and Instagram. And please wait. This is just a series of talks what we're going to have. Next week, we are having another talk on parenting in the time of quarantine. We are having a speaker from India. Again, a very good friend of mine, Bimal Raj, he will be addressing. I would invite all of you, look out for our page, and next Wednesday we're having it same time. Invite your friends. With that, ladies and gentlemen, Shuvo signing off. Thank you.